Ever since I was a little boy, I've been a big fan of Batman. I grew up watching Batman the Animated Series, the Christopher Nolan trilogy, and even playing the Arkham games. As many of you know, Batman's character is not really complete without his Robin. Out of all the Robins, the one that stands out the most is Dick Grayson, because he was the first one. I would even say he's the most important. But he's always been either sidelined or flat out written out of the stories. Until now, he finally got his justice with the new comic series Nightwing Leaping into the Light, written by Tom Taylor and illustrated by Bruno Redondo. Before I tell you why Nightwing finally got his justice, I have to tell you why he wasn't written well. Dick Grayson is one of the oldest characters in DC Comics, first appearing in DC Comics number 38 in the year 1940. For those who don't know, Dick Grayson was an acrobat along with his parents, calling themselves the Flying Graysons. One night, Dick's parents were accidentally murdered during one of their performances while Bruce Wayne was in attendance. That's when Bruce swoops in and adopts Dick to allow him to become Robin and avenge his parents. And that is basically the beginning of Nightwing. Like I said before, Dick Grayson has an extensive history, which makes it a lot easier to create a great character, making comics like Batman and Robin, Batman Black Mirror, Battle for the Cow, The Great Leap, The Boys, and many more. But he has never been the main character or the center of attention. For example, in modern media, we have a lot of movies like Justice League War, Batman Under the Red Hood, and even Batman the Animated Series. Dick Grayson has always been a character that is used to measure how powerful Batman opponents are. In the movie Batman Under the Red Hood, when he first appears, you can see how charming and the great dynamic he has with Batman. But then Red Hood arrives and Nightwing basically disappears. He rolls his ankle and is out of the story. They literally use him for exposition. Another example of this trend is shown in the DC AMU. He first appeared in Son of Batman, which is the third movie in the series. So, he was never Robin in the first place. That mantle is given to Damian Wayne, and when we first see him, he gets bodied by Damian. Not only that, but in the Injustice series, he dies after Damian hits him with a stick and falls breaking his neck with a set of rocks. And I haven't even mentioned the live action movies, which he never appears in, except that one time, but that's a story for another day. But that's enough with movies. What about the comics? Well, even though the comics Dick Grayson is in are great, I don't think they fully capture the character of Dick very well. Like the comics I mentioned before, those comics are some of the best Dick Grayson comics, but they are Batman comics with Nightwing twists. Most of the great Nightwing comics are him filling in for Batman because he allegedly died. Don't get me wrong, I love those comics. They expand the character of Dick Grayson very well, and they make him feel very human. Like when in Batman and Robin, he's teaching Damian how to be a better Robin by giving him more encouragement and positivity, which Damian desperately wants. Which is great to see. Or in Batman Black Mirror, how Jim Gordon immediately figures out Nightwing is Batman by seeing how empathetic and caring Batman is. Plus, he doesn't vanish when the conversation is over. Those are the little things that I love about Nightwing. And that is why I'm excited that he finally got his standalone comic where we can finally see how great of a character he is. Now, there is around 117 or 118 Nightwing comics, but with Tom Taylor being the new writer, DC did a soft reboot which gives Nightwing a fresh start. Now, you might be thinking, why do I think this new reboot is so great? Well, let me give you some examples. Right at the beginning of the story of Leaping into the Light, we see a young Dick taking care of some bullies because he doesn't like bullies. After the altercation, he thinks that Bruce and Alfred are gonna be mad at him, but that is the contrary. Alfred even tells him that it takes a different type of hero to be one with and without a costume. And this is something that we see a lot of. We don't only see the impact Dick has at Nightwing, we also see the impact that he has as Dick too. In the current continuity, Alfred dies during the City of Pain storyline. In the comic Leaping to the Light, Dick inherits the will from Alfred, which apparently Alfred was a billionaire and we didn't even know. Dick is so selfless that instead of keeping that money, he gives it back to the community of Bloodhaven, making the Alfred Pennyworth Foundation, which is a foundation that helps the homeless with shelter and rehabilitation centers for people that were in jail. Or on the other hand, he owns a whole apartment block and he funds a whole community of homeless kids and even gives apartments to every single one of them. In addition to that, we are given a backstory of how Dick got the name of Nightwing, which was given to him by Superman. That caught me by surprise. We even get to explore his relationship with him. Dick is so respected and admired that even Superman wants his son to follow on in Nightwing's footsteps. Nightwing basically becomes the DC Spider-Man, but I think a little bit better because they give him the ability to grow. Dick goes from Robin, a shallow character that only follows Batman, to eventually wanting to become his own person. He ends up being Batman's greatest success, and this is something that we can clearly see in Tom Taylor's storytelling, seeing how proud Bruce is and the great relationship Dick and him have, which is something we don't really see. We even get a new villain with Heartless, which looks really cool. Just look at him. He also has a cool backstory that is built up throughout the series, where you can grow to see the reason why he hates Nightwing so much. And I can keep going on about Heartless, but I don't really want to spoil it to anyone, so I'm just gonna leave it here. Overall, Tom Taylor gets Nightwing, and I can't wait to see more from him. Thank you for watching my video, and if you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.